With faster screens appealing to the masses more and more, gaming laptops these days try to integrate one in their devices. Also, good gaming laptops does not only mean unparalleled performance but also good audio and visuals. The ASUS ROG Strix Hero 2 is one such laptop with a fast gaming screen and good audio. Let's talk about more in this review. First up, let's talk about the design. And the design can be summed up in one word: pretty clever. Actually, that's two words, but see for yourself. The whole laptop chassis has a square box design and it's a bit different than what we're used to seeing on others. It looks pretty cool. There's just this striking factor about how this looks. I describe it as elegant and futuristic. The laptop is not very slim, but it still maintains a small form factor even for a 15.6-inch laptop. It weighs about 2.4 kg without the charger, which is okay I think considering this is a gaming laptop. The outer lid is made of aluminum with brushed texture and that ROG logo on the side. The logo glows and can switch colors, which of course is programmable just like the keyboard lighting inside. You get two-tone design on the lid with a slash. One half is hairline brushed while the other is anodized. The lid is also designed to reveal the notification LEDs when closed too. There's also this light strip up front, but to me it's kind of pointless, but hey, it depends on your preference. Besides the lighting, the build is plastic. It does appear sturdy to look and feel, and there's no flex when pressed on whatsoever. I would have preferred it to be metal, but then again the heft is pretty good, so no complaints there. You have the air vents at the back and the right side. The vents at the back are also cleverly designed to keep the laptop cool while also preventing accumulating dust. Just as I said, clever. So the design is what appealed to me the most. It's sharp, arcane, and stands out. On the display front, you get a 15.6-inch Full HD panel with 144Hz refresh rate and 3 milliseconds of response time. That makes it another of the few laptops with one of the fastest screens on the market, which is great for gaming. MOBA games tend to be very fast-paced and screens like these are a treat. The 144Hz refresh rate helps you push out a good number of frames per second, while the 3 milliseconds of response time makes your actions look very fluid. The bezels around the display are pretty thin, making it look great, but that leads to this awkwardly placed webcam down on the right. The overall screen is smooth, the picture quality on this thing is fantastic, the picture quality is crisp, colors pop out everywhere, details look amazing, and there's nothing I can complain about the video quality. The brightness is about 320 nits, which is good enough too. The color accuracy is not bad with 93% standard RGB, 72% NTSC color gamut coverage, and 70% Adobe RGB. Yes, this works very well for gaming, but if you're into editing stuff, there are better options out there. Alright, the keyboard. The keyboard layout is somewhat different than other gaming laptops. You get these additional hotkeys for volume, microphone, and the ROG Gaming Center, which can help you take some quick actions in the middle of the game. I feel like that this is a nice additional feature to have, but the position of the arrow keys seem a bit off and it's easy to confuse them most of the time. The feedback from the chiclet keyboard is very good. You get these soft clicky sounds which can be pretty satisfying. There's also about 1.5mm of key travel, and that is good enough for me. The backlighting on the keyboard is not too harsh either, but looks good nonetheless. The one thing that differentiates this ASUS ROG Strix Hero 2 from the SCAR 2 is the highlighted keys. The SCAR 2 has WASD transparent while this has the QWER, which means this laptop is meant for MOBA gamers while the SCAR 2 is for those who are into first-person shooters. The backlighting has various modes and can be customized, but it's not as comprehensive as the MSI GE63 Raiders. It's a good and a simple keyboard nonetheless. The trackpad is also very nice. With Windows Precision drivers, it tracks really well and the gestures are solid too. The dedicated hardware buttons are nice as well, and even though you might have a mouse plugged in for most of the time, the touchpad is really good. Coming to the performance, you get the latest hexa-core 8th-gen Intel i7-8750H processor in this one too, coupled with 16GB of RAM at 2666 MHz frequency. And the performance is just as expected. You can fly through multitasking nicely, you can have as many things running in the background as you want, and there's no app that's heavy enough to overwork it seems. As for benchmarks, you can see how it fares. Cinebench 15 scores 174 points for single-core performance, whereas 1203 for multi-core performance. Gaming on this machine is pretty good too. This one features the NVIDIA GTX 1060 with 6GB of video memory, and while that may be a good performer, I feel like it cannot complement the fast screen really well. Highly graphic-intensive games like PUBG gave us about 40 frames per second on maximum settings and about 50 on low settings. CSGO gave us 60 in the highest settings, about 80 on medium, and 90 on low settings on average. But the beauty of the screen is reflected in MOBA games like DOTA 2 and Paladins. Paladins on ultra settings averages on 80 frames per second. But there's always so much going on in the game, yet the screen captures every moment without a hitch. The same goes for DOTA 2 as well. Yet I cannot help but wonder if maybe this one had a GTX 1070 on it, you'd get better frames per second, but the GTX 1060 does its job, so it's cool. Also, you have this ROG Gaming Center that looks something straight out of a sci-fi movie. This helps you regulate your various settings for the games like change fan settings and whatnot. It also gives you system information about core temperatures and memory use. But I did find it a little bit complex to use, and it could take some time getting used to. As for the thermals, they're pretty good too. The internal temperatures can go up to 75 and 78 degrees for the CPU and GPU respectively, but there's no throttling whatsoever. You have 3 fan modes: silent, balance, and overboost. There's also this Hypercool Pro system with dual 12V fans, triple radiators, and a heatsink, which does a fairly good job of keeping the laptop cool without any throttling and minimal sound. Storage-wise, you have a 256GB M.2 NVMe PCI SSD and a 1TB Fire CUDA SSHD as well. So for storage, you're well sorted. The SSD gave us about 1570 MB per second of read speeds and 870 MB per second of write speeds. The solid-state hard drive is different than your regular hard disk drive. These drives have a small amount of SSD built in that serves as a cache memory and store your most important files, so you have better access to it. As for ports, you get enough of them as well. On the left, there's a power jack, an RJ45 Ethernet port, a mini display port, an HDMI 2.0 port, 2 USB-A's, a USB Type-C without Thunderbolt 3 support, and an audio jack. The right side has a Kensington lock slot, another USB-A, and an SD card reader. Battery is the part where gaming laptops tend to struggle, and this one seemed no different. It has a 4-cell 66Wh battery, and it lasted merely 2.5 hours on normal usage and about 50 minutes while gaming. But I think that's a problem with my unit because a 66Wh battery should give more battery life, but nevertheless you need to carry a charger around as it won't last you the whole day anyway. So all in all, the ASUS ROG Strix Hero 2 is a good gaming machine. If you get this, you have something that catches your eye, one of the fastest screens for a laptop, and great sound quality as well. And to talk about the bad aspects of the laptop, first you have a bad webcam at a bad position. The quality of the webcam is muddy, noisy, and it's just not good at all. Plus, the awkward placement makes it worse. Also, you have 2 RAM slots at the back, but then again you have 12 screws, which makes it pretty difficult to open up. And also there's no Thunderbolt 3 support, so those are the bad things about this laptop. This laptop is priced at $1,550 or Rs 2,10,000 in Nepal. And my problem with that is it seems a bit expensive for a GTX 1060. I would be a bit reluctant to pay that much price for a 1060. Also, there are other laptops out there in the market with better performance for the similar price range. But if this had a 1070 for instance, it would hands down be the best laptop at this price range. You also get the Acer Predator Helios 300 2018 with same specs, and that one costs a little bit less. If you don't care about the aesthetics that much, that one is a much better option. But if you pay extra for this, you're getting a better build, better sound quality, and better visuals, and a lot of other things. So it's up to you. So that was it for our ASUS ROG Strix Hero 2 review. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Johnson for Gadget Byte. Namaste.